Thank you, everyone, for coming, and thank you for the members, and feel very comfortable next to a couple of middle-class families who are striving to make it in New York State here. You know, we have several days in New York State. Some are holidays, some are just special days. We commemorate and we celebrate. Today is a special day, but I think this is a day when all the taxpayers of New York State commiserate. And we're here today to commiserate with them. As you know, today, May 5th, is Tax Freedom Day in New York State. Now think about what that means. If we call today Tax Freedom Day in New York State, 4 1/4 months into the calendar year, that means we've had Tax Imprisonment Day for the first 4 months and 1 week just about going into May. That's not an envious position to be as a state. There's only 2 other states that are later than us in terms of finding Tax Freedom Day, when every single one of our taxpayers have paid every penny, every dime that they've earned, hardworking men and women, to the federal or state government. And I believe that's New Jersey and Connecticut. And we're third. Could be fast moving into second or first. We'd like to move in the other direction if we could. Now, what does this really mean holistically when you think about it? Well, yeah, it does mean probably over 1/3 of the dollars that they earn for these first 4 months in a week have gone to their governments, state and federal. But it also means this: a difference in philosophy of governing on both the federal and the state level. Let me tell you what I mean. We see that difference here in the New York State Assembly. We think our colleagues on the other side of the aisle have a philosophy with their leader to vacuum up as much money as possible from our constituents, from families, whether they be middle class or lower income or any families, vacuum up as much money as they possibly can, like a $122.5 billion budget, and then recycle that money in programs that tie those constituents to government, and really create a government where people need government itself in this democracy. Now, our philosophy, and the members that you see standing here, and I think a good number of our constituents believe government should be there for a different reason. Government should be there to remove obstacles from every one of the single 18.5 to 19 million people in the families of this state, so they can be everything they can possibly be with the God-given talents they've been given. Not reach into their pocket in every way possible to continue to have them and force them to keep coming back, and coming back to government saying, I need some of my money back. Could you recycle it for me for my health care needs, for my education, for my tuition, for my mortgage, for my gasoline? Don't recycle my money. That's what the message is today. And really, I think the message collectively from our constituents is, give me a break, will you, New York State? In the federal government, give me a break. Let me keep the money in my pocket. That's what we were talking about with the Property Taxpayer Protection Act. That's what we were talking about last week when we said, let's have a tax-free holiday on gas. Leave more money in constituents' pockets. Make this a government that's accountable to the most important voices in this democracy, and that's the 19 million people in New York State. Not a government that continues to reach into their pockets and their wallets as much and as many times as possible and say, I'm going to build you a new program, so you need me more than I need you in this democracy. I don't think that's what this state should be about. I don't think that's what this nation should be all about. But I think that's what this 4-month and 5 days day to become tax-free really illustrates. A philosophy of we're moving more and more and more closely to what, you know, I can only suggest that Hillary Clinton wants to talk about. Hill health care, you know. Let's have a socialist type of atmosphere, you know, so we take as much. I mean, where's this all going to end? Is it going to be 6 months? Is it going to be 7 months? Is it, you know, let's just give it all to them. You know, it may get to a point now where your check, if you work in New York State, won't come directly to your house anymore. No way. It'll be a check made out to the state government and the federal government of the United States, and they'll take that money, and then they'll give you things like my father used to give me at the end of the week, a little allowance. They'll give you an allowance for your house. They'll give you an allowance for your food. They'll give you an allowance for your clothing. Maybe they'll let you go to a movie every once in a while, or have dinner out at McDonald's or Burger King, or Jumpin' Jacks, where I like to go. You can get a great Jack burger at Jumpin' Jacks over there in Scotia Glenville. But that's not what government is all about. The check and the money should be in the mail, but it should be going to our constituents, and more of it should be staying with our constituents. You know, I don't want to see that check made out to the federal government when men and women are working hard to make a go of it here in New York State or in this nation. And we have some of those men and women from those middle-class families who are, I'm proud to say, are here standing with us today. And